Hey everyone, what's going on? It's 2 Minutes to Review. I'm Matt.
And I'm Zach.
If you haven't joined us for one of these before, what we do is we take an album or a movie or something, and we go ahead and we both give a review on it. The longest review in under 2 minutes wins.
Yeah.
Now this time, this is a band that is close to both Zach and myself. We've seen them a number of times over the last couple of years. And Zach, why don't you give a little bit more lowdown on what we're doing here?
But you're doing so great already. You're starting the trend of saying who they were, and then you just left the audience wanting to know more? What?
Yes.
Oh, fine. It is 311's new album, Voyager. As Matt mentioned, we both have some close connections. I'm going to be completely honest. They are a band that, for a long time, I actually thought were cheesy and just not very cool. And then I met my now wife, who was a huge 311 fan. And the more I went to the shows with her and the more I listened to the music, the more I started to really warm up to them and started to accept them. I mean, you can almost do a whole Am I Missing Something episode about why does a band like 311 get so much crap from critics or from music snobs, because they're actually a really fun band. They're really well-trained musicians.
I think it's also because people, before we start going off on a tangent, I just think it's because people don't necessarily know that 311 are fantastic musicians, and they're just so tight as a band.
They almost think of like the rap metal stuff that they were doing in the 90s.
Right. Well, I mean, they still do some of that stuff now. It comes off as less cheesy now than it did back then, because I guess they were starting to get lumped in with like Limp Bizkit and all of them and all that rap metal, but they were never metal.
Yeah. They just had some influences from like hard rock.
Right. But this is not Am I Missing Something?
No, this is a 2 minutes to review episode, and it's about their 13th album, which I think alone is kind of amazing.
Right. There's some bands selling that well to get to a 13th album.
Yeah. And I mean, they are always touring as well. So, I mean, it's kind of remarkable that they're able to even find time to record.
Right. All right.
So I'm going to say I want to go first.
You want to go first?
I want to go first.
All right. So let's get out the official the 2 minutes to review timer thingy mabobber.
Yeah. Sponsored by no one. Anyone who wants to sponsor the official 2 minutes to review timekeeper, email us, epicfootnote@gmail.com.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
Hold on 1 second. All right. Let's do it.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, let me start off with the bad aspects of this album. Truth be told, there are some forgettable tracks that just don't really stand out. They kind of blend in. With that said, there are a ton of great songs on this album that really do stand out and really show the band's diversity. The wide range of sounds, from hard rock to songs like Crossfire to the more jammy stuff like Space and Time. But then there's also songs that combine both of those aspects, like Don't You Worry and Stainless. But I think the thing that I really found fascinating in this album is that while they have their own unique sound that you know when you hear it, it's 311, there are points when they're trying to delve into either a more modern pop sound, like on songs Good Feeling or Dodging Raindrops. But then there's also songs that they're trying to capture 90s nostalgia, like the song What? Exclamation point, question mark, whatever. And ironically, for a band that, you know, when you listen to it, it's like, yeah, that is what a 90s alt-rock band kind of sounds like. Songs like Good Feeling and Dodging Raindrops, the more modern pop songs, is actually where they succeed better. And it kind of just highlights how they really are a band that is able to look forward toward the future and able to just continue their solvent, to continue to evolve. So if you're someone who thinks 311 are a little too hokey to be taken seriously, well, this record's not going to win you over. But if you're someone who does love the experimental 311 version, or how the band can be experimental, and you simply accept the fact that they are just a fun group to listen to, you're going to love Voyager.
All right, we have a time.
And ranking-wise, I'm going to give it 3.5.
Okay.
Because to be honest, there are some forgettable songs.
I'm not going to say anything until my review.
You're not going to say anything. I mean, there are some forgettable songs, but the songs that do stand out, they stand out.
Okay.
Matthew.
Zachariah.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, stretch it out.
I'm ready.
Remember, you gotta come original here.
Yeah.
311 pun. All right. 3, 11. Sorry. 3, 2, 1. Go.
So I'm going to start off by saying that the last album, Mosaic, had a huge impact on me. I kind of really got into that album a lot, considering that I was on the cover of that album. More on that in just a little bit. However, coming into this album, Voyager, I wasn't expecting, anything like that, but no, this album, it seems like it's a step back for 311 because they open up the album with the song Crossfire, and Crossfire, it really tries to follow up tracks from Mosaic like Wildfire and Perfect Mistake, but it sounds like it's almost like a B-side, like they wrote it and then they kind of just put it aside because it didn't fit on the album. Don't You Worry is the first standout track, and I think just the standout track of the album. It sounds like they captured the essence of what they were going for on the feeling of the album. It's a funky, reggae, spacey type tune. It's really cool. If you were to listen to one track off this album, this would be it. I mean, I'd also put it on the level of like Amber, Beyond the Gray Sky, maybe even Sunset in July from their other album. I can't think of the name of it right now. But if we go deep into the album, I mean, Stainless, it seems like they took like the same formula they took on Too Late in certain points from Mosaic. So it really feels like they have songs and writing that was left over from that album and put it together to come into this new album. They also went back in time from what I'm feeling. They went back to Transistor a lot. You'll definitely hear some influences being drawn on songs like Dream State, Better Space, Charge It Up. And then, like Zach mentioned, you have songs like they're trying to be more than what they are. They're always going to be this underground band, and they even admitted it themselves. But they're trying with like Good Feeling and Dodging Raindrops. They feel like one, they're trying to be on a children's major motion picture soundtrack, and then Dodging Raindrops feels like it could be like an Ed Sheeran song. All in all, this album, I feel like, it could have been a lot worse for 311, but for what it is, it's a decent 311 album.
Wow. So first, before I start questioning some of your comments, what's the ranking you'd give it?
So I'm going to give a little bit of extra bonus content here. Because I wanted to think about this a little bit more because I do mention Mosaic a lot. Mosaic, to me, was a 4.5-star album for 311. Over the last couple of albums, the album that Sunset in July came off of, I can't think of the name of that album.
That's fine. I was actually just listening to that song the other day, too. Yeah, I'm blanking on it. Anyway, that album for me, the one where that song came from, that was like a 3-star album. That album, gettable. When I start to get into Uplifter, I really loved Uplifter. That's a 4-star album for me. This album comes in at 3.5. So ironically, it's the same ranking as me.
Yeah.
But I feel like you were a little bit more negative on the album.
I'm only negative because it feels like 311 decided that they were going to take their B-sides from the last album and use them on this album. Granted, there's songs, like I mentioned, like Dream State, Better Space, Charge It Up, that really go back to like Transistor, and they feel like they could have come from other 311 albums.
But it's funny you say that because I mentioned about the forgettable songs. The 3 songs you just named there, to me, that was actually the forgettable stuff.
Right. And, when you listen to Transistor, because Transistor is like 21 songs long, a lot of the stuff on there gets lost in the shuffle. And that, I think, also kind of plays into what you're saying, where it's forgettable at times. Yeah. I mean,
I do have to disagree, though, about your comment about Crossfire being a B-side, because I actually love that song. I love it. I don't know why. It's a little hokey. But it's just something about it. It gets me a little pumped. I don't know why.
I mean,
I dig it.
Going back to
Caught in the Crossfire.
No, going back to once again Mosaic.
Well, Mosaic was a great album.
Mosaic was an amazing album, and let me also touch on this. I did mention in my review that I was on the album cover because 311. Yes. They
show off.
Yeah, I know. Because 311, when they were coming out with the album, they said, "Hey, send us some photos. You might make it on the cover." So I sent a photo of myself and my wife, and it's actually on the cover of the album. It's, I believe, on the right arm of Nick. If you're looking at the cover,
I like how he's saying like, "Oh, I believe." It's like, no, he knows.
Well, whoever the second guy is in, I'm on his right arm. If you're looking across. But,
so look it up.
Yeah,
you'll get no prize if you look it up and find him. Just look it up.
No, but once again, it was a nice little thing that they did for the fans because they did say that the fans make the band and whatnot. So it's really cool that they did that on the cover. But the writing and just everything, the musicianship on the album, the feeling of the songs on Mosaic just felt so good that when you listen to this album, it's like you kind of missed it a little bit.
You know what? But you also mentioned about like the pop songs. Yeah, it does sound like it was made specifically for the purpose of trying to get onto like either a soundtrack or on some mainstream radio. With that said, I'm used to hearing bands trying so hard to do that, and it's like falling through. Like Linkin Park is a good example of the last album before Chester passed away. The song Heavy, it sounded so much like it was a desperate attempt to sound like Chainsmokers that it was hard to enjoy. Good Feeling, while you can definitely see them trying to do something like that, it's still a fun song.
It does feel like...
And I actually love Dodging Raindrops.
It still feels like 311 because 311 never strays from what they are.
No, yeah, but
they are definitely a funky reggae band that can do things in a pop style.
But like I listen to the songs, I'm like, all right, it's a little like, for instance, I actually scoffed more at the song What the one that sounds like they're trying to...
I don't even remember that song.
It sounds funky. It sounds like a funky 90s like jam band kind of thing that they wrote it with the purpose of, oh, maybe we can trick a radio DJ trying to find a 90s track because 90s are all in right now. Maybe we can get them to, throw it in accidentally, like into the mix for a radio station. Like, I actually scoffed at that, whereas like Good Feeling and Dodging Raindrops. Well, first off, I love Dodging Raindrops. I actually love the lyrics to it. I thought that was a really good song. But like, I was actually impressed with how like, yeah, it sounds like they're trying a little hard to get pop radio, but it's actually pretty good. They succeed. It's catchy. I think it's catchy.
For them to openly admit that they are never going to be more than just an underground band, and they said that during 311 Day in the movie that they put out this past year, they even said that they're not going to be anything more than that, and they know it. So I understand you trying to do all different styles because that's what 311 has always done. I get it, but are you really buying into the fact that you don't want to be more than that, and are you just trying to sell the fans on that? Everything else I believe about them. I believe about the good feelings, the unity vibes, and everything else that they sell. I still don't buy that they just want to be an underground band.
You know what? But none of that matters.
The times.
That's
all that matters.
Our times. From the official, still to be sponsored, the 2 Minutes to Review timekeeper. So, Matt, let me get the official 2 Minutes to Review drum roll started. This is also up for sponsorship too. Looking at you, Starbucks.
Fire sale. Everything's up for sale.
My time. Ooh, that was good timing.
1 minute, 43:14.
All right. All right, let's warm up that drum beat again.
All right.
Matthew Gamba. Oh, you came in too soon. Your time. 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
I knew I was going to go over. I knew that this time.
That Zachary
you
Shaw
finally won.
Is the winner.
You finally won something.
Huzzah. In my honor, I demand a 311 chant.
3-11.
3-3-11. 3-11. 3-3-11. We are such nerds.
Yes, we are.
We're literally just doing a 311 chant. We didn't even choreograph that, but it sounds like it. Well, that is our opinions at least. We want to hear your thoughts on the new 311 album. Did you like it? Do you agree with our points? Do you think we're way off? Leave us some comments on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even YouTube at Epic Footnote. We want to hear from you. And thanks for listening and hope you tune in next time.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy.